Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Today we will be having Dr. Francisco Valderrey. He's a researcher professor from the University of Tec de Monterrey, a prestigious institution in Mexico. He will be giving us the webinar for marketing for entrepreneurs. Let me just start off by greeting everyone on behalf of the Young America's Business Trust. And let me just talk a little bit about your speaker today before I pass the control to him. So, Dr. Francisco Valderrey, he completed a Bachelor of Business Administration at the University of Houston in Texas with a major in economics. Later on, he earned a master's degree in international management from Thunderbird in Arizona, and he has a PhD in administration and marketing from the Universidad de Valencia in Spain. He has occupied several positions at multinational enterprises and was a co-founder of a technology company in California. He has co-authored two books, the first one being Mercadotecnia, Conceptos y Estrategias. This was published in 2003 in Spain. And he has also published another book called Fundamentos de Mercadotecnia in Mexico. And his research currently focuses primarily on marketing strategies in China as part of the Cátedra Asia Pacífico. Just before we begin, I will make right now Dr. Francisco Valderrey the presenter of the webinar. I also want to mention that afterwards, when Dr. Francisco Valderrey has finished, we will have the Executive Director of YIBT, Ms. Valerie Lorena, talking a little bit about the Caribbean Innovation Competition and the next steps. So without further ado, Dr. Francisco Valderrey, I will make you a presenter right now, and we can begin the webinar. Thank you everyone for being here. And once again, Dr. Valderrey, thank you also for sharing all your knowledge with us.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Allow me to check and make sure that you are listening properly and also that you can view my presentation.
Yes, everything's working perfectly. Okay. We can hear you, and
everything is working fine.
Yes.
Great, appreciate it. Well, thank you very much, Jose Gautier. It's a pleasure to be with you, and also it's a pleasure to be with this group of Young America's Business Trust and the Organization of American States. It's quite an opportunity because I understand that you're working on your business plan and you are working on the ultimate details to present your projects. Hopefully you'll be very successful, and I will give you a few hints. Rather than going deep into the theory of marketing, there are books, and yes, fortunately I've been a co-author of two of those books. Still, marketing needs to go beyond the theory and go into the specifics, and you need to see marketing as something, a wide range of tools that can be very helpful for you to make sure that your project goes and turns into reality. Okay, so let's leave aside all those definitions and try to understand what is marketing all about. And marketing, I will say, what helps companies to reach the market and also creates a relationship with customers, not only current customers, but in your case, for those future customers, potential customers. And finally, it's like a toolbox with different techniques and different opportunities for you to use those techniques and go straight into your customer base, either the current customer base or in the future. Okay, everybody asks about what is the difference between marketing and sales. It's not the same because what I want to do is sell my product. Therefore, marketing and sales should be the same. Yes, there are some similarities, but eventually you have to think that sales is a very narrow approach. I have this product, I have this service, and I want to place it in the market, and I sell it very much to whoever shows the money. So there's selling. Whereas marketing involves many other factors. There's a lot of strategy involved. There is much more of understanding the customer, knowing the customer, see how you can get in a more efficient way. Marketing also deals with finance, deals with numbers, and a good marketer, like you will be in the near future, should understand that there is a lot of meaning in every project, and you need to consider all the figures, the facts in your market, and so on. So very basically, whatever you want to call it and how you want to define it, sales is a short-term approach to push your product, whereas marketing is more a long-term orientation. You go for customers on, as they call in the enterprises language, you're going concern. That means you want to be here now and also in the future. Okay, so when we talk about marketing, the first need that we have is to understand our customers or the segment of the market itself. And yes, there is a way for you to do it, which is called market research or marketing research, as is so many times is called. And market research is basically doing some investigation, doing some research to understand what is your product positioning today, what is it you want to do to reach the potential market. All of you are entrepreneurs, and that's great because you are not living from a given point. You have the whole world and the whole market for yourself. But again, you need to be very concerned and very accurate on defining what type of market you want to reach, what size of the market, what is the market, and who is the buyer. So you need to know all those things about your customer, which is the customer taste and preferences and the purchasing power as well. So I don't want any customer, or I don't want what they call a one-shot deal where I sell to an individual customer that is anonymous to me. What I want to do is develop a relationship, create a relationship with the customer. And to do that, you need to have a strategy. And this strategy is all coming from the market research, because market research is giving you the basic information. So you have to develop some market research, and I had a similar webinar that I was invited by my friend Jose, and I said the same thing. We were talking at the time on international terms, but very basically the fundamentals are the same, which is you can have very basically primary and secondary market information, but you need that information, and you need to include that information on your proposal. You'll be competing, this again my understanding, in an international contest, and regardless, you need marketing research if you want to be successful with your product or your service. So marketing research very basically is the design and the gathering of information, the analysis of such information, and finally how you report all the findings that you have obtained. And with the purpose today, this is the modern approach to marketing research, with being very specific and giving recommendation, a set of recommendation. Look, Mr. Banker or Mrs. Banker, if you are evaluating my project, this is what I found out, and that's why I'm addressing this segment of the market, and this is the name of my customers, so to speak. So you have two sources of information, and it's primary and secondary. Primary is everything that you do it very much on your own, or you are adapting for information that is already there in the market. And secondary information is the information that somebody has done it for you, or actually not specifically for you. The secondary information is already there, is available, is either for free or is public for everybody to share. So let's go into the primary market, because at this point is the most complete information you can gather, except that is also pricey. It's typically primary market research is expensive. It's something that you do on your own, or you hire somebody to get all that information. You may get information through surveys, and you're familiar with those, through field studies, and there are many different field studies. Some are called ethnological studies. You really get into a specific environment, and silently you observe and you gather as much information as possible. Observation methods like those that you see on the supermarkets, those are methods that are using cameras and are using some devices that allow you to get information. Typically use those for consumer behavior to see how the customer will react to a specific change in one of the variables and so on. The interviews, and those are very important. At this stage of your project, I will suggest you to go for interviews. Those are called in-depth interviews, and what you do is you find people that are relevant to your research and certainly to your product and to your project, and you try to find as much information as possible from those people. You don't need to go and do so much of data gathering and so many interviews that at the very end you lose track of your idea. You just very much need to interview between 5, I would say 10 people at the most, but people that really have an insight into the information you're looking for. So you talk to those people, find a reasonable place, a nice environment, and allow those people to talk. To me, it's a mystery after that many years how people are inclined, if you have some good chemistry, to share with you information, and I mean a lot of information. And finally, you can go also for focus groups. Focus groups are, you have seen it, but you probably have participated in some of those focus groups, and very much is inviting a number of people, between 8, 12 people, that's the ideal number, and you as a moderator, or you even hire a moderator, or as a friend, a colleague, no, to be a moderator, and very much the moderator keeps control, because otherwise 12 people in the same room will have the tendency, most probably, to jump from one topic to another. So it's not good for you. You need a moderator with a personality, with a strong personality, saying, okay, let's go back to our question, which is the most important question for us is this. So very much it works like this, and you can reproduce this. Focus groups are very expensive if you go to the pros, but if you do it on your own, it's very easy. Many of you are university students, or sometimes are even, some of you are even high school students, and what you can do is go to your local university and ask for a place. Maybe you invite people. It's okay to give some small gifts, nothing really expensive, and invite those people into this gathering, this group, and it's amazing how people start talking, and you get ideas for your product, for the presentation for your product, for the packaging, for advertising, for any possible matter. So what you do is you train the moderator, or you train yourself to be the moderator, and you write down the 5 to 10 different questions that are relevant for you, and you just make sure that people participate. In the focus groups, you probably have to do a little bit of reading before going into a focus group, because there are many possible situations. Like one is the so-called professional focus groups guests. Those are people that go for the gift, and if there is a free lunch or there is a gift of any kind, they will go for it. But those people are very obnoxious. Allow me to be so sincere with you, because they have a tendency to follow a specific path to impose some opinion. And what is even worse, they try to be more agreeable to the company that is inviting and is offering those gifts. So they want to accommodate because they are expecting to be called and to be invited once again. So basically there's some literature about how to run a focus group. It's not that difficult, believe me, and you can get a lot of information. And then you have the secondary market research sources, and the classic list includes universities and your library, the Chamber of Commerce, the industry magazines, industry also specialized magazines, consumer report, specialist consultants, free publications, and so on. But guess what? If you go down to the list, you will see internet. And believe me, now there is so much free information available on the internet that is foolish, in my opinion, for an individual, for an entrepreneur to go and pay for that information. Not to mention that once that you hire somebody or you buy a written report or a digitalized report, you will see something, that report was looking much better before you bought it and doesn't help you much once that is in your hands. Once that you try to look at this report, typically there are many general statements, very little of importance to you. So, having said that about marketing research, let's go into the specific. And when we're talking about marketing research, immediately we need to go into segmentation of the market. And there is a reason. You are entrepreneurs, young people, probably little money, but great ideas. You cannot pretend to go to the open market to sell to everybody because there will be a waste of resources, and also you will deviate from your main idea. You will try to accommodate everyone to please everybody, and that's not a good idea. There's something called segmentation, which means you split the market, you divide it in groups, and you say, okay, group such and such, those are the characteristics of this group, and I know those people, and I know how can I sell it to them, and I know how to create a bond with those people. So there's the concept then of segmentation. It's like having a pie, and you just divide the different slices, and you look for the one that better fits your potential, your ideas, your dream about the company that you are starting. And also you look for market niches, which is very much about the same thing of segmentation, although this is more specialized. When you talk about a market niche, it's something that you should be able to find with many different variables, such as people's age, gender, if there is such a difference, purchasing power, geographically speaking, you should know where they live, what part of town they are, where do they go shopping, and so on. So segmentation is a very basic idea, and market niche, although it's not that different, very basically is just setting up the special group that you pretend where you pretend to sell your product. Okay, some of the segmentation variables, demographic, about is that an ethnicity, so it's an ethnical group that you want to address. Social segmentation, this variable is very important. Yes, we understand. It's not any nice to divide people in social classes or things like that, but it's extremely important in many different products. So let's not call it social segmentation. Let's call it instead price, purchasing power segmentation. Those people that can buy products up to this level and so on. There is also psychological and psychographic segmentation. Psychological is the name, it says everything. Psychographic, it doesn't. And allow me to explain to you. Psychographic means lifestyle. So if I'm a fan or a sports fan, and I live with this particular sport in mind, in my case it's soccer because I'm coming from Spain, then I live my life so many times around sports and those things that I like to do and my outdoors activities and this and that. That's called psychographic segmentation. It's lifestyle, and that's very important especially when you have some very specific products that are targeting people with those variables in mind. Think about Harley Davidson, those beautiful bikes, and how people they have some sort of magic. Is very much like a sect. It's a group of people. They are very much united against this image of Harley Davidson, the brand, and the many things that you are familiar with. Also, you need to see the possibility of consumption as well as the taste. People can have a lot of money, they can be very rich, but they are not inclined to buy some specific products, or just the opposite way around. People that apparently don't have that much money available, but they go crazy for a particular product or a range of products. And finally, the use of the product. You can make major mistakes if you don't understand what is the use that people make of the product. Maybe you're thinking about doing this while customers or potential customers, they have a different use in mind, and you need to be able to recognize that possibility. Okay, so much for segmentation and market needs, because you know that by heart. What is segmentation is a very simple concept, but believe me, the very fundamentals of marketing lies specifically on segmentation. There is also very important for the marketing theory and also for yourself and for your project is something called a marketing mix. Marketing mix, you probably have heard under a different name. It's called the 4 Ps, what they call the 4 controllable variables of marketing. So marketing mix, and why? You will ask me, why the 4 Ps? It's very easy. You have there in the screen. It's product, place, price, and promotion. So when you look at product, you need to look at the quality of the product, the package, how you want to wrap it up, what kind of warranty, and this is your personal commitment. You start in your own business, and you want to honor your promise. You want to honor whatever you say to your customer. And also the label for your customer, I mean, is how the inside and also the outside part of the product. And you have to think also about the brand and the new products and product adaptation and making changes and so on. Then we go to the second P, which is called place. And place is very much the market. How somebody came with this idea of place, I do not know it. But otherwise, it will not make sense. It will not be possible to use the 4 Ps. So somebody say market, forget about the market. Now let's call it place. And everything will stay in place. So place, you need to look for distributors who are selling your product. And today, perhaps this is less important for you. In the good old days, you absolutely were in need of finding distributors to sell your product. Now, with the internet and all the means available to you, now it's very easy to sell without those distributors. You can very much get rid of many of those, especially if you are looking at your local market on the very first stage of your product. At the very beginning, you can do without some of those distributors if you go into e-commerce. But you need to have your ideas clear, and that's called distribution policy. Okay, do I use those distributors? Do I go to the retailers myself? What should I do? Whatever you decide is important to understand, and stick to the policy and stick to the strategy, at least for the time being. Then there is a third variable, and it's called price. And out of the 4 Ps, the price is the one variable that you can easily manipulate, you can easily change. It's difficult for you to change a product. It's difficult for you to make a wide turn and say, well, now I get rid of my distributors. And also to use promotion, but not for price, because price is something in an unregulated market where you should be able to make immediate decisions. Either you go high with the price or you go to a lower price. Typically, you lower the price because there's competition, and those competitors look for you. They are pressing you, so you lower the price, and this is probably the only means from a particular time for you to compete. But there are some occasions in which you want to raise the price. Perhaps because you sell a luxury item, you are providing services of high quality, and you don't want to be associated to cheap merchandise or lower quality services. Then is the promotional part, the 4P. And this is quite complex because there are many tools and techniques and many things you can do with promotion. But promotion is quite simple. The concept, don't be fooled by people telling you this is promotion. Very much promotion is giving or telling the market, here I am with my product, with my service, and those are the good things that I can do for you. And once again, through the internet, now is something that is available for you, probably at no time, probably with a very little expense. So we have in the promotional side, the propaganda, sales promotion, personal sales. Those are for you at the beginning of your project because you will be doing the personal sales on your own. And it's very much knocking at people's door, and there's something quite that many people find unagreeable, but also you can approach through electronic means different people, individualized people, people that you already have some knowledge about or some special bonds. And finally, advertising. Advertising used to be for the big companies, for those large corporations, for the 500 Americans large companies, but no longer, because advertising, you can go through many different media, you can go through social network and do advertising for very cheap. So let's talk about those controllable variables a little bit more. No? And once again, they call controllable variables because those are those factors that you can very much have control. You have an option. You can change it. You can do things about it. Whereas the uncontrollable variables are those that are outside of your realm. You cannot make decisions and change the inflation rate. You cannot change the unemployment. As I told you, I'm from Spain. There's a terrible problem with unemployment there. And you, as a single individual, you can do very little, or actually you can do nothing about changing those things. Those are called the uncontrollable variables. So we have to know those uncontrollable variables, but we have to focus on the controllable variables because you can make decisions, meaningful decisions for your company. So you have to look at the features of the product, the labeling, and the labeling is very much the communication, this what they call the silent communication with the consumer, with the final user, with the end user. The recipient, the container, the bottle for your product, if it's a physical product. And remember, products and services, there's not much of a difference except one is tangible, and believe me, it's quite easier to sell a tangible product than an intangible. Just try to sell like funeral services, and it's very difficult to describe the product that you are trying to market. And also, there are many things you need to avoid, to be concerned, because people are scared of listening to those things, and so on. When you have the physical product, the techniques are very much the same, except that it becomes a lot easier to sell those products. When you are talking about your product, you need to go through different phases, and I'm available for you at the end of the presentation and also in the future if you want to write to me. But and so we will go very quickly. We will make a fast track over this different launches phases. The brainstorming, when you think about the product and who is your customer and what is the market, you filter ideas, you do something called concept testing, which is very much having a trial. Before you go to the market and you spend tons of money, you just go and test that concept. You analyze the market, you have this physical prototype, and believe me, it really does wonders. It will say, okay, I can explain to people, I can have a picture and so on, but it's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, as compared to having the product and people that can touch that product and imagine what is it you're trying to develop. So you do some product testing, the marketing plan, and finally the market launch. In marketing launching, I hope you are very successful, but believe me, don't be impatient, because if you are entrepreneurs, you need some abilities, and one of those abilities is to be very cautious about the timing. Being very cautious doesn't mean to be conservative or to wait forever, but yes, to learn how to find which one is the best timing for you. Okay, also you need to be very careful about the brand, because the brand is something that will stay there forever. Once that you have this brilliant idea, you need something that is what is called the brand that describes your product and make your product unique. I know you developed this idea, you have been working on your business plan and your project for quite a lot with your Canvas, with all those tools, and you say, no, I understand what I'm talking about, and this is my brand. But that's a major mistake, and I hope you are not making such a mistake, because people don't understand what you have in mind. You have to tell them, and sometimes you have to talk to them like as little kids. And the brand helps you a lot about communicating, this is my product, and this is what it's good for. And also, the brand is permanent. So that if you are unsatisfied with my product, you can come to me, because this is a brand. This is my promise to the market. Also, you are very happy and you want to buy more of this product, then you have my brand. My brand is my promise to you that things are very much, they follow this quality, that they are very much the same, and that you will get no surprise. You will get a different product. That's true. It's a different product range, but the brand is my name, and my name is in there. Okay, let's go into the controllable price, and we're looking at the money. And for you, money, maybe many of you, is not that relevant, because you want to succeed regardless. Your main reasoning is to provide a solution. Nobody has thought about it before. You are impressed with your own thinking, and you absolutely want to bring this idea of views to the market. But if you forget about the price, you are in good trouble, big trouble, because price will make the difference between a successful product, successful service, or it would be just like leaving this project on the side, because there are no good foundations for marketing your products. So when you want to establish the price, you need to have a few things into your consideration, which is, what are your goals? You want to make it to strike rich very fast, or you are more, you really have some more time to spare and look for the best opportunity. So that's very important. Also, the nature of the industry, and this word industry looks very negative for many people. We associate the term industry with something that we are very much against. That's why I have my different project, and that's why I start my own company, because I don't like this industry, and it's run by people that are not providing a good service and so on. But remember, the industry is for everyone, and is the whole group of companies and people that are selling or are marketing similar products. So you need to be very specific about the industry, understand the nature of the industry, and keep always under your own consideration. And the industry goes also to different cycles. That's called the product cycle, and different economic conditions. The financial situation is quite different, and you have to understand that people in the 2009, in the year 2009, coming to the market with a financial product, they were in really great difficulties because people don't believe and they were not looking for financial products at that particular time. There was a big financial crisis in the world. Also, you need to look at competitors, and those competitors that you probably hate them, you need to live with them in a way that you find your place in the market. Competitors are not any good or any better than you. They're just different, and they are in the same place because they have similar ideas to yours. So you have to understand who those competitors are and how much pressure there is in that competition. Are they promoting products that are similar to your products, or is something completely different? The worst possible scenario is when everybody markets a similar product. That's what they call commodities. And commodities are undifferentiated products, and there's very little you can do about commodities other than going downward with the price and probably selling money, probably losing money for some time. So you also need to look at the product life cycle. If it's a mature product, it's a product that everybody knows about it, or it's a brand new product. Hopefully you are looking for brand new market or segment of the market where nobody is in. There is a famous book, it's called Blue Ocean, and talks about the blue oceans and the red oceans. Very much blue oceans are those markets where you are facing no competition. You are just competing against yourself to provide a better solution to the market. The red oceans are the places where you don't want to be involved because there are many people selling you the same, very much the same product, and just applying some pressure for you to go down with the price. Probably running your company out of business or your project will be unfeasible because of this pressure. Also, you need to think about the capacity of the company to provide with goods and services in the available stock. If you have tons of those units that you already produce and not selling well, they will affect your price decision because you will say, now I go for a lower price because I don't want to get stuck with this much of inventory. So another controllable place is variable is the place, and is what I told you. This is the market. It's very much how how can I make sure that my product goes to the end user, to the final consumer, however you want to define that person or that organization on a B2B, business to business. And I need to understand some aspects about the market. One is the physical movement of goods, which is logistics and transportation. And it's not that big deal anymore. You just contract people, you do outsourcing for this transportation, logistics, and you get out of this complicated scenario, and you focus once again on your product or your service, your idea. So you need to look for the points of sale, how you're going to be distributing your product, and very important, what are your margins? So how much money do I need to pay people to market my product? And there is a structure, and you need to be very careful about the structure because typically it is not given by you, but by the market itself. In the state of Arizona, the people going in retail, selling to the last consumer, they make, for instance, 30% of the final price. And so you need to be careful about how many people will help you out to reach your customer. You have to pay them but you need to have some clear structure, and that structure needs to go along with your industry. Then you have to talk about your own brand and think about the business practices. When we talk about going international, this is quite an important point. On your own market, it's not that difficult to understand what those practices are. And by practices, I mean, for instance, when do people pay for your product? So usually in a product, should I expect to get paid within the next 30 days, what they call net 30? Should I expect to be paid in 3 months, and so on? Those are practices, and there's very little that you can do about it except to understand those practices and have a clear understanding. If you don't respect those practices, you may be running out of business, or you may be in great problems. Now, being in problems or facing competitors is not necessarily something bad. Think about the taxi company Uber and how they really have so many people furious in the world. Probably in your own city, taxi drivers are furious, are mad as Spanish boats, because they see how outsiders are coming to their own market where they have been working for years, and they are very aggressive against those people. You don't know the story about Uber. So once again, competing with people, going head to head with other companies and people and so on, is not necessarily bad. If I can avoid them, I will be very happy. But it's not, there's not an honor that you can have every time that you want to market your products. So let's go to the last of those 4 controllable variables, and it's called promotion. So once again, promotion means this is my product, Mr. Customer, and this is what the product may do for you. So there are many different tools: advertising, public relations, which is very basically you either spend little money or you spend no money. If you have the ability to have a network of friends and people that trust you, then it's fairly easy. Then public relations campaigns sometimes are absolutely unbelievable. How out of barely nothing, there is a whole campaign and everybody's aware of your brand, aware of something that you're doing. And let's go finally to the strategic marketing plan, because I know so many people and so many companies that they have the greatest product on earth, they have the best possible idea, people are so smart, but then there is no marketing plan. And without a marketing plan, your chances of survival, your chances to expand, your chances to really get your rank are very slim. You need to put things in place into this marketing plan. And you need to make some decisions. One, the very first one is also kind of rough, which is, should I spend money in marketing? Because maybe you know sufficient people that can buy your product, and therefore you don't need to spend a dime. Everybody's set, everything is set for you to sell it. You don't need any special extra money for marketing. Or this what people really believe. In reality, my suggestion is to consider what is the possible investment in marketing, so that what budget and how much can you do with your budget. You can do wonders with a small budget nowadays, or else you can just go and go for professional agencies. They take care of the marketing, but yes, be prepared to spend a lot of money. Then you go back to the segmentation criteria, and you need to be very selective of the markets. Don't go for every market. Yes, the world is on your mind. You want to sell to everybody in China, India, as many people you want to be the buyers. But in this part of the game where you are just barely starting, or you even haven't started yet, it's just an idea. So be very specific, please, and try to understand how far can you reach to who are the people that you can sell it to, objectives, this is what I want to do. Need to have a plan, a proper, very well, very accurate plan. The more accurate, the better, and that's called the marketing plan. So you define the mission and the purpose of the plan, because you have to understand who you are, yourself, and the company. And that dream that is so important for you, are other people really familiar? Do they understand what is that you're trying to do? So that's the mission and that's the purpose for you. And once that you have the mission, things start becoming a lot more simple, because now you have something to do in your life. This is what I really will strike for. Prepare the basic data, analyze problems and opportunities. There are many different analyses. There are some of the good old SWOT analysis and many others. Canvas now for you if you are more entrepreneurs and so on. You need to establish some specific goals, formulate an action plan, develop some strategies, look at the budget. I told you before how important, if you want to be convincing to the judges when you present your project, or even to bankers and investors and angel investors and everyone, and even family and friends, you need to talk about the money. You need to tell, this idea is great, and this is how much it will cost, and this is how much I will be selling it for. Then you need to project those sales and earnings into the future, probably for the first year up to the 5th year, if you can make those calculations, and are not that difficult. Believe me, it's just an Excel, and input the numbers and just play the different scenarios, and you will be looking more credible if you just keep talking about how good is your product. Look, those are the numbers. And also establish some control mechanism, because so many times our ideas are good, but we have no control. We don't know who is in charge, and how could I account for those actions that that were my goals. So just to give you a conclusion, a marketing plan is important. We have no time. We will need probably like a week webinar to talk about the marketing plan. But there's plenty of literature. There is a lot that you can read in the internet. Just Google marketing plan. You will find tons of information. And with that information in mind, you start building up your marketing plan. Please, my friends, without marketing plan, it's very difficult that you could be successful. Against marketing, and this is something from the past. But guess what? You will be talking to people that are not your age, are people my age, and they like to see something tangible, something that they can understand. So marketing plan is of utmost importance. And then consider those variables: culture, the demographics, the technology, geography, all those things we talk about that are, once again, those are the uncontrollable variables. Yes, you will say, Francisco, you just told us that those are uncontrollable variables and you have little to do with that. But in fact, what you need to do is understand those variables and include on your analysis how much the ecological aspect may change your plan and so on. And also, there's the very last tip: look for profitable and specific market segments. Yes, you want to sell to everybody, and people have money here and there, but you need to be really in charge, and you need to understand who is your potential customer and what is the specific market niche that is really will be satisfied with your product. Yes, they have money and they can buy it, and there will be repetitive customers. That is finally what you're looking for. So, having said that, the book is textbook. It's called Fundamentos de Mercadotecnia. It's in Spanish. I'm sorry, there's not English translation as yet. But for those of you, and I understand you are spread out throughout Latin America and mostly to the Caribbean, many of you can read Spanish. So just it's a very simple way to present the ideas that you have listened to throughout the presentation. Yes, I'm one of the co-authors. Thank you so much. So finally, I want to appreciate your attention, to thank you very much, and open if there is a possibility, and I will ask my friend Jose Cloutier if we still have some time to entertain a few questions. Once again, thank you so much to the Young American Business Trust and my friends Jose Cloutier, Arturo Patiño, and this my contact information.
Thank you so much, Dr. Valderrey, for truly a great presentation. I know that you're a little bit short on time, so it would be great just one or two questions. It's always a good idea to the audience that is listening. If you have any questions, you could type it down, and I could read it to Dr. Valderrey. Just the first question I have here from Alpha Sanan. He's asking, for an organization whose primary objective is to do marketing, do they need to consider anything separate in doing their marketing plan, or would the same principles apply?
Good question. Same principles very much apply to a marketing organization, like what they call sales-driven organization. They just want to sell products. And believe it or not, the business plan or the marketing plan is very much the same. Now you have different goals, and you selling, you very much into selling and commercializing and marketing products, but the principles are quite similar.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Well, I do know that we wanted to just remind the participants a little bit about the Caribbean Innovation Competition, and we'll do that after we finish this short Q&A. Dr. Francisco Valderrey, thank you once again for the presentation, for taking the time to share all this information with us. Just to remind everyone that this session is being recorded and that we will upload it to the bootcamp website. And we will also share Dr. Francisco Valderrey presentation so that you can review everything that he has been teaching on this webinar. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Valderrey. If you want, we can end the webinar right now. I know that you had to be somewhere else, so I can pick it up from here and just talk to the participants a little bit about the Caribbean Innovation Competition. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Valderrey. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jose, my friend, also Arturo. I know that you did a great job organizing those webinars. And thank you so much to everybody in the audience. My information is there. If you want to write me, I'll be very happy to answer. And thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit before we end the webinar. Most of you are from the Caribbean, and as you know, these webinars are done in the framework of the Caribbean Innovation Competition. This competition is really part of a wider program. It's called the REACH program. This is an international entrepreneurial project. The CIC, the Caribbean Innovation Competition, is an entrepreneur competition and business startup accelerator for entrepreneurs in the REACH participating countries, the REACH project participating countries, and other CARICOM member states. This is organized by the Young America's Business Trust in collaboration with REACH and the regional partners such as the University of the West Indies, the Inter-American Development Bank, which they are the ones that are funding the project, and also WIPO. So I don't know, Dr. Valderrey, if you're still there. If you need to go, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, great.
Yes, I know that you had to be somewhere else, so you can just disconnect.
Yes.
It won't affect the session. Thank you so much, and I'll be in
Okay,
contact
thank you
with
so
you
much.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So continuing, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about the competition. Please remember that the registration deadline is today, so it doesn't mean that you need to give all the deliverables. That you have the deadline for February 1st, but the registration deadline is today. So you need to go to the reachcompetition.net website that you're looking at in my screen that I'm sharing right now, and do the registration, at least the registration, so that you will be able to continue in the process. Once again, the deadline is today, so do register today. To talk a little bit more about the competition, it has two phases. The first phase is the semifinals. This is when you complete the concept paper, business model, some online presence tool. You can show us your website or your Facebook group or a blog, and a collage of promotional photos, videos, or some graphical representation. These are the deliverables that you need to give us before February 1st in order to be a part of this phase of the semifinals. Um, so in this semifinals stage, you will also receive training such as this one that you're receiving right now, the boot camp, and other various technical resources available to teams to develop their ideas into solid projects and to create a practical strategy for implementation. In this stage, a group of international judges will review these plans and select the top 8 finalists to move into the finals. So that's why it's important that you register today, so that you are able to stay in the competition and also have the time until February 1st to give us all the deliverables. All the deliverables are uploaded into your online profile in the reachcompetition.net website. And once you have all those deliverables, judges will choose the finalists that will go into the phase two, which are the finals. The finalist teams will present their pitch to the CIC Awards to international judges, who will select the winning teams, and these winners will have the opportunity to showcase their products or services in an international event, gathering representatives from the private and public sectors, academia, among other national and international guests. It is really important because besides seed capital, the winners of the CIC do get seed capital, but you get so much more than that, which is the international visibility and the connections and this opportunity to enter new markets. So we have a couple of categories within the CIC. At the time of registration, teams will establish their eligibility to participate in the CIC in two categories according to the following criteria. So the first category is creative industries, and I'm going to read to you a little bit about the criteria. In the creative industries, we would have initiatives focused on generation, commercialization, and dissemination of creative content. Any ideas focused on developing a profitable business model focused on creative sectors such as advertising, architecture, arts, crafts, design, fashion, film, animation, video games, music, performing arts, publishing, TV and radio, and many others that are also a part of the creative industries. So that's the first category. The second category is the technology commercialization, and these are initiatives focused on launching intangible entrepreneurial assets or engineered products or services based on hard science, research, patents, industrial designs, or utility models, as well as other technical products or services such as websites, apps, software, or any other sector like energy, environment, health, biotech, material science, etc. So this is a more broader category in which your project or your business may fall into. So this is the general information I wanted to share with you today. Once again, you can go to the reachcompetition.net website, which you're seeing on my screen right now. There you will be able to register. Once you register today, since today is the deadline, you will have your online profile where you will be able to upload the deliverables that we ask, so that you can go into the next stage, which is the semifinals. And we hope that after that, we will choose the finalists that will go into the final stage and win the competition. So that will be everything we have today. We will upload this video and the presentation that Dr. Valderrey just did, so you can access it. And to access that, you can go to ybt.net/bootcamp. And once you're in the bootcamp platform webpage, you can click on upcoming trainings. When you click on upcoming trainings, you will of course have the upcoming trainings. You can register to them, and you can also go check out the recorded activities. You can see all the different videos we already have that will aid you in doing your business canvas if you want to do one, in your business plan, which is a deliverable that you must do. So we have videos on doing a business plan, and also webinars such as this one, and you can also download the presentation. So that will be all for today. We want to thank you for participating, and please do register today so that you don't miss this chance. We thank you for being a part of the network, and once again, have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time.